Howdy everybody, how are we all? Arty Farty here. Geez, I've got a few people here today. Yeah, welcome everybody. Who do I have here today? I've got Ron. G'day Ron. DeWalt, how are you? Anthony Dodge, Ron, Creepy, Gary. Mate, you can keep your brain over your side of the hill, mate. Your side of the line. Hillbilly, how are you? Who else do I have? Jerry, how you doing? I think I saw Nissy in here somewhere too. G'day, Ron Moen, how are you? Lee, how are you doing? Yeah, there's Nissy and Ethan. Hope everyone's doing all right. Haven't been doing much, or there hasn't been much construction this week on my layout. It's been a crazy old week. Had a passing of my stepsister in South Carolina this week. She's been fighting bronchiopneumonia for nearly 5 weeks now, and yeah, things went bad on Wednesday night American time during the Heat's stream at Humanity Junction. So yeah, it's been pretty hard, and then also had an acquaintance over here pass away this week too. But anyway, enough of that. What I have been working on this week, I've been working on the switching panel on my new section on Randall's Run. It's nearly coming to an end. I will be posting some tutorials on it because I'm going back to basic wiring. Hey Split Rock, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. I managed to get the block detectors to work yesterday. Not too much complication, just wiring everything up. That's working fine. It's working on the indicating panel. Next stage on that is doing the signaling. I've got everything wired up, pre-wired. The last week I've been basically, if you guys want to have a look, what I've been doing this last week is, hey Melvin, how are you? I've been basically pre-soldering all my switches and LEDs, so everything's done for my panels. Also, what I've done this week is started building my new switch tower. I'm going to end up placing the cameras inside. One's going to be in the middle looking forward, and I'll have a camera in the side, one of those cube ones looking out that way. So that's come together. But that's going to be on hold for a moment. I've still got to get the pub and that done. So, yeah. So it's going to be a bit slightly kit bashed, and it's at the right height, I think, because that's going to be placed. If you guys can see it, it's going to be placed over here in the back. So the camera's going to be looking down the yard and down along Randall's Run, which will be facing that way. So it's going to be an interesting view. I think I have got it on the right height. If not, I'll just have to get another switching tower sometime next year. Don't advertise my booby traps, thank you, Anthony. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to share an invite with anyone who wants to come up. Join us in on the join in. No, I haven't started the pub yet, Gary. I'm hoping to start that. I'm hoping to start that on Monday or Tuesday this week. I've got all the material. No, I won't be doing it Tuesday. I might start Tuesday night. I've got to go up and get a few more little bits and pieces for the layout. Tuesday's going to be my last time to be able to get up to Sydney and get some bits and pieces. I do want to get a what do you call it? A backdrop for the layout. which I want to put up. The wiring for the lights and that is temporarily in. I need to get some more lighting decoders because the pub I'm going to have sequence lighting inside with the rooms. I've got some LEDs that I've included that's going to have the dance floor sort of thing, like the Friday, Saturday nights, what we have here. Yet I'm going to start commencing this week. I've got electronic components, electrical components for it. So, yeah, that's about to start. That's going to be a good little project. I might start with the post office and the bakery first, just get the feel of it. Where the pub is going to go, it's I've got to modify it. Looks like I'm going to have to modify the pub a little bit because of the way the staircase and that is sitting. But I think I'll be able to manage to do it. If not, well, here, the kit bash will work out all right. I need to go and get some plastic windows and that. They have got a side stairway, and the way I'm looking at the side stairway, it's going to come back out onto the roadside and the park. So what I'm thinking about doing is, depending on my space that I have, either do a veranda on it, or I'll just cut it out and put a door on it. G'day Lee, how are you, Lee? River Subdivision, welcome to the channel. So, yeah, things have been working in the head and how it's going to all sit and look in place. That's going to be done this coming week. Hey Steve, how are you? No, that's fine. I don't think I'll be on here too long today either because I've got to put all my decoders in, which is, it's in the bag of goodies. I've got to put the lighting decoders underneath the layout, tidy the wiring up. I've got backup signals coming. They've arrived in Sydney, so they'll be here any day. I have had issues. I bought all these. I bought these Australian signals for the layout. Creepy will probably see them and probably vouch for them. They're actually not a bad signal, right? That's basically two-headed. It's got yellow, red with yellow target. It's basically the signal system we have here in British Rail. That's your normal three-headed, three-lighted signal. Then, of course, I've got another three-headed with a yellow core. The yellow core they use it for switching over here. Indicates the driver that when that's flashing or it's on, the driver can go to the yard limit and return. Now, the issue that I found with these is they buy LEDs, and I was trying to work out the circuitry for it to work on the NC lighting. It's going to be at this stage too complex, so I'm taking these out for the time being, and because time critical at the moment. So I've taken these out, and I've got some cheap ones coming from China. I do have some Dwarf Signals. Here they are, and they also make Dwarf Signals, but because of NCE's light, Ron, they're LEDs. They're not bulbs. They're LEDs, and they're those reverse polarities. You've got two wires and the wiring system on this is actually a little bit more complex. So I'm putting this on the back burner for now. Because basically I want to get everything done. Yes, that's right. The SMD LEDs, they won't work with lighted. You have to have a modified electrics for it. I was looking at some YouTube tutorials during the week and have found that there are some that are doing it. Atlas do a circuitry for it. But they haven't got nothing available. Well, they have got something available, but for it to arrive before the 20th this month is basically going up the creek without a paddle at the moment. And I want to get everything like my signals and basics, everything going by the 20th because I'm having surgery on the 24th on my right hand. And for me to be able to do anything would be roughly about 2.5 months before I can start using my right hand. I'm just following by the surgeon what his recommendations is because it is pretty bad. The carpal tunnel and that. Hopefully, we haven't got any permanent damage. That's all related to the accident. The left hand's come up good, so if I follow his lead, I'll be okay. Whether I'm going to have the big main panel done in time, I doubt it. I was hoping to get the roundhouse finished. I doubt I'm going to have that finished this time around, so I'm just going to make it look like a run-down roundhouse for now. So still waiting on switches to come from Perth. Okay, I don't know how long ago you asked for it, Ron. Stuff is slowly coming from the States. I actually put an order in about 3-4 months ago, and I'll tell you what, I am very, very cranky at the moment. I ended up putting an order in for some Paragon's GG ones. They were on special, the undecorated ones, and I got the MTH's Halloween train, which I was hoping to get for Halloween this year. And I've been waiting for about 3 months. The store where I purchased from, some idiot over there decided not to follow my instructions and send the item by United States Parcel Service by post, which I did not want. I was willing to pay the extra for the postage to come down with UPS. But in actual fact, UPS was cheaper than post at the time that I put that order in. So anyway, instead of the United States Postal Service sending it by air, which I paid for, they put it on a ship. And of course, that ship's been going through the storms and that over through the Pacific, and it's lost a fair few containers, I guess. What was in one of the containers? My train. So it's floating somewhere out in the Pacific Ocean. I'm not too worried about the GG ones because I can still get them. But I'm really cheesed off that I didn't get the Halloween train because that was one of the last of the MTHs. Well, Ron, it depends on what kind of switches you're after. I mean, we do have switches over there. I get majority of my switches and that here from Jaker. I don't go to a lot of these hobby shops because, like, for example, I'm using, for example, like the toggle switch. I've got the mini sprung load toggle switches for my turnouts. I buy bulk. They work out roughly about $4 something each, $4.50 from Jaker. Hey, creepy. Who's cancelled the mail delivered to Australia? Gary? That's what I'd like to know, because there's been no mail cancelled. Because I'll tell you what, the mail has not stopped going between Australia and particularly in the US. It has not stopped. If anyone says that's been cancelled, I'm sorry to say it, but they're full of it. US Postal Service has still been sending. The thing is, United States Postal Service, what they've been doing is they've been charging premium rates for airmail, and they've been putting stuff in shipping containers instead, which is cheaper. So they're pocketing the money, the extra money that it will cost air freight it over. So I'll tell you what, there's so much inconsistency with the mail service over in the US. I'm no longer, if I can avoid it, there's no way I am sending my stuff from the US to Australia by United States Postal Service. I'll deal with the ones that will actually send the stuff to me by UPS. Two of the suppliers that I've got in the United States do have it, and it actually works out roughly at the same price as sending it by post. And that's between, the United States Postal Service has gone expensive. One of the retailers that I actually deal with in North Carolina to get my stuff here, and even the United States, when I looked at what the pricing of the shipping is, the actual UPS has actually become a bit cheaper than the Postal Service. So I'm just using that, and they got the expedite system, which works out same as Express. You're not going to get any quicker. It takes 7 or 8 days for it to arrive in Australia, as long as there's not a hold up in either LA or Honolulu. However, sending stuff from Australia to the United States, yes, it is expensive for UPS. Yeah, the shipping on eBay, I don't know how on earth they work that out, because they're overpricing the shipping on eBay. Even when in Australia, they're really blown out of proportion. Well, you can get stuff a little cheaper, but the thing is, they're trying to say, the argument what the Postal Service is trying to say, they're saying that there's, because of this COVID thing, they turn around and saying that due to decreased flight services between the countries, that the freight's going to be impacted. Which again, sorry, I'm ranting, it's a load of crap, because Qantas has reduced 3 passenger flights, but what they have done is they've actually hired and used some of their aircraft to do, freight on board. United, American Airlines, Delta, they're still coming to Australia. They've still got regular runs. And the passenger seats, especially with the new planes, they can take them out, or they leave them on, and they're putting passes on them. So there's mail still coming through. So, hey, MS Hunter, how you doing? So, the Postal Service has, especially Australian Post, the way I see it, they got this system in place and it does not work. It is so unreliable. They work on a thing called predictive scanning. So, predictive scanning. Predictive scanning is we are predicting that item's going to be here at this particular time, but in actual fact, it's not. It might be still, they might be still waiting to pick it up at the destination. And with the shipping crisis going on in LA and the US at the moment, where there's a big hold up, Sydney as well, Sydney's improving a bit. They're blaming, they say it's aviation, but it's not. They're putting stuff on containers. So anyway, enough of that rant. What else have I been working on? Not really much. I started putting the car in my southern engine. And of course, this goose here, I forgot to change his light bulbs. So when I put the light indicators in and gave it a test run, the headlights gone. Poof, they're gone. So for a quick fix over, I've gone to J-Car Electronics, and they got. I'm not going to put LEDs in it this time. They got these lights. They last quite a fair bit. They're rated for 12 volts, but I can run 14 volts on them. I'm going to replace it with that. It's going to get a nice brightness in it, and it fits nicely in those in the sort of proto engine. The next engine I'm going to do, put the decoder in. I don't think I'll get it painted. I was hoping to paint it. I was going to repaint this one to the BHP or Australian Iron Steels orange with black and zebra striping. So I'm going to get this one up and going because if anyone's watching my back to basics tutorial, my siding and whatnot on Randall's Run isn't quite that big. Actually, I'll come back in a minute. Just let me go and get one of my molds. Yeah, I started. I'm back. Okay, so I've started on my Wagon, the 4-wheeler that I got in the mail the other week. I painted it up, and of course this goose done again, calling myself a goose. You might see a little bit of a bend in there. Well, thanks to my neighbour, I won't be mentioning any names. It's been sending me a lot of rain over here and cloudy and whatnot. I decided to make the most of the cloudy weather. There was no rain with it, and go out and paint it. So this is the side of it for the cattle wagon. Painted it all up, put it outside. I think there was a live stream going. I think it was his stream going, which was Tuesday. So anyway, I had it outside, had it on the bin, and I forgot all about it. The sun got to it, and it's bugged it. So anyway, I'm going to fix this up during the weekend. Basically, it's going to go on the side. I've got to get new glue because the glue that I have got is not holding. Yeah, this is a old 4-wheeler cattle wagon. Yeah, it's going to go on the side, something like that. I've got to work with it. My fingers are hurting at the moment. It goes in the side. Goes roughly on the side there. And that's going to go from the stockyard because with having limited space in layout to do switching and that, I'm going to go to the 4-wheelers with the Australian models. make interesting switching. We did have a lot of cattle and sheep. Hey, Rick. Oh, that's gone. The blame Rick for this one. He interrupted me. Well, you just stay safe up there, Gary. I know we got bad. I mean, if you see the clouds and that's heading Mount Cameron heading up towards Sydney, I tell you what, I don't want to be in Sydney today. Yeah, if you want to join in, Rick, I'll give the Rick a link. You can come and join in if you want. Yeah, well, I think I do have another spare end piece. I do have a flat wagon I'm going to put in together. I was going to paint them up first and then put them together, but I think I'm going to just put it together then paint it. I do have the four-wheel sheep wagons, which are buried in the corner in my stockpile. So I'll get them done this week. For the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get a rake of 4 or 5 of them. Just going to make it interesting switching. What else have I got? That's pretty much it at this point in time. Yeah, as I said, Rick, if you want to come up and join in for a chit chat, you're more than welcome to. Now, my live stream is going to be basically on a permanent basis now on Sunday Australia time, which is American time. I think you guys going back an hour tonight. So I got to work out the differences with the time between you guys and us. So keep an eye out for that. Because I believe I'm getting in contact with Ray and Rick and everyone because they're doing their build thing. Okay, Rick. Because I work out the times with them because I see they're going up to do that slot about that time with their challenge build. So we're going to see if we can tie it up into that. If they're going to come up first, I'm going to do my show after them. So I'm going to tie my show in with them. Okay, so it is going to be a permanent feature now on my channel to have live streams. So yeah, I don't know where Dave's got to. I thought he was going to join the stream. He's probably busy working on his layout. Since the wife and the kids have left town, and he's decided he's got some free quiet time and working on the layout. So yeah, nothing really else has happened on the layout. I haven't done the shaky cam. I have got the panel up. I've used this new little what do you call it? A power converter. And I think you guys will see during the week. I'm going to put it on the actually it was in one of my mail calls. And I got it from China. But it allows you to reduce the volts from, say, in our case, we've got the 14 volts on our DCC system, and actually can reduce it down to 12 volts and 3 volts. So I hooked it up last night to operate my panel, and I hooked it up to my bus line, the power bus, and it's worked out brilliant. I'm going to see if I can swap the camera. I think I might be able to get that camera reach. I've got to put the cameras in a better spot. I'm going to get some more cameras. Let's see if let me do a swap here. It's just out of view. Okay. Okay, just bear with me at the moment, guys. I'm going to swap the view. Okay, so see, there's the layout. You can see where the tower box is. It's going to sit. As you can see, the three little windows, that's actually going to face the yard. Does look a little bit congested at the moment. I'm just trying to see how everything fits. Yeah, I'll show you guys the little thingy-majiggy for the power. It's going to be out of sight. It's only 8 big. As you can see, I've got my 2 wires going to the bus. Then that is my out power feed. That is controlling my track detectors at the moment, the BD20s. They're actually hooked up in the BD20s. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I've got plenty of slots in here, and they're going to the power distribution for my lights, for my street lights, my pub, and everything else that goes with it. It's actually going to give me that flexibility. It's all 12 volts. I do have yeah, okay, Rick, no problem. So it's I'm slowly progressing with it. I just want to get the basic wiring, and get all the electrics all sorted out. Still got to put the signals in place. They should arrive here by Tuesday, Wednesday, as soon as they clear customs. Now we're going to put, there's one going here, another one here. They're the signals are controlled that way. I'm going to have another one here and a dummy one there. That one's only going to be temporary. It's just going to be like a, you can say, a pretend one. I've got another one going to go here to protect the switching. I'm not going to be able to get the crossing in. Then I've got another signal going here that to protect that switch, to give the direction going this way, and another 2 here to go either direction, and there's a couple in the yard. I am making up a couple of little dwarf signals for myself. Well, you like the two-tone grass. It's not hard to do because I used a light shade pretty much on the bottom, with a dry shade and whatnot on the bottom. And then I use 2 darker shades up the top. I go another tone darker, and then only a slight what's the word? A slight dark tinge over the top. Because if you have a look at the grass, hey Thomas, how you doing? Welcome. I can't hear you. Is he frozen or yeah?
No, I can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. You just wasn't saying anything.
Well, I was waiting for you to finish.
Yeah, so basically I use tones of different grass, because if you have a look at the grass, especially in the fields, you've got the lighter colours and the dried up colours on the bottom, And as you get new sprouts and whatnot up the top, they actually change their colours. So you get that coloured effect. And when you have areas like where you've got traffic and whatnot and cattle's going around, because cattle's got their own particular areas where they prefer the grass, you'll have patches, as you see where my trucks are at the front. So yeah, you blend your colours in. Have a look what you want to do and what the area, and your colours will change depending on the season you want to model. Like you've got the spring grass, you've got the winter grass, you've got the autumn grass, and also you've got the summer grass. And they all change colours within their seasons, if that makes sense. I try to make it real as I try to make it look as real as possibly I can. Yeah, without the static grass applicator, which I'll be locked to know where I put it. Yeah. And how you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing well. Thanks. No, I like your grass. I think you have the right way to do it, that you have to layer it with colors and base it on the season that you want to model. You know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with a golf course. And
well, if you ever take it, well, yeah, you will end up with a golf course. But even if you have a look at the golf course, it's got different colours as well, depending on whereabouts you're going. Like you've got your green, your fairway, it's usually the same colour, but you'll have a look. Grass has actually got two different colours. It's got the colour on the top and the colour on the bottom. There is this Swedish guy, the marketing Swedish guy. I can't remember his name now. He's actually got a very good tutorial on how he does the grass, and he explains it really well how to do it. And I think he models early summer, I think it is, and he uses different textures. Here in Australia, we've got our grass change. The colours of the grass changes. Like my coastal grass here is different to what's up Creepy's way. Creepy is about 40 minutes away from me up the mountain, and you get up near his place, and yeah, around suburbia, the green grass is reasonably green, but you get outside of suburbia on the edges, it's got that straw colour. It looks dead, but it's not. Yeah. So what have you been working on your layout this week, Thomas?
I've been just taking a lot of photos, and because I'm submitting an article to one of the big magazines. You can probably see this way behind me. You see like green material for green screens. I've been adjusting some photographs, and at a train show today and doing lots of things. So I want to ask you this about your static grass. What's the longest that you've applied? I've got everything from 2 to 12 millimeters, and the 12 millimeters is usually weeds, but that's, I don't know. Do you apply in different layers with different lengths, or what do you like?
Yeah, I've actually. Yeah, I apply it with what do you call it, in different lengths. I have not used a static grass applicator now for close to 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And my static grass applicator is actually made out of a tea strainer.
Right.
Right. Micromark was selling them, and they were about $25, $26. So I haven't. The biggest I was able to use on that, I think it was 3 mil, and I used it as a final layer of one time. But then again, I did the other way around. I've actually had the big layer finished off the top. The way that guy, that Swedish guy, did it, he done it brilliantly. I can't remember how he done it. If I'll have to look it up, and I'll share it with the next week's stream. I haven't really gone to the real long layers yet, and I won't be doing it this time around. I am going to do it on the main layer when I start constructing that, probably Easter time next year.
Right.
We're doing well.
Is that Marklund of Sweden, or is that?
Yes, that's him. Marklund from Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah, he does a good job. He's a very interesting guy, but he does wonderful scenery.
Oh yeah. And the way he does it, and you just experiment. Every static grass applicator is different. But one thing I found out is you soak it, and once you put it down, with the one that I use, I had to go over it a few times and get closer to get the static grass to come up. You want to see how the static grass applicator works. After you laid it, go over it and just watch the fine particles starting to stand up. Because a lot of times the particles won't stand up and they'll just sit in the glue.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. So, I think I've bought 3, if not 4, applicators, and then my absolute favorite one is the $25 one from T-Strainer from I think I got it off eBay or Micromark. Because it fits everywhere. It's lower. My layout being double level, I can't put the big, shaker tube underneath it. But I agree with you with the T-Strainer. If you put it down, then you can keep going back, like a hairdresser. You can keep teasing, the static grass to get it to stand up. So there's more viscosity in the glue, and I always find that that works well for me. But I do like the longer grass. It's just tougher to work with. So,
especially when you're using a T-strain, it is a lot harder to work. But I mean, it is, you just do small sections at a time. If you look at one of my, I'm on a different, not on my mainframe computer at the moment. I haven't got the 2 computers linked up. But on the big layout, you'll probably see my layouts in the past. In the big section, when you see where the tunnels and that are, and the hillside, you've got some little buildings. All that side there was all done with the T-strain with a static grass applicator. And I used 2 different tones. And as I said, if you have the T-strain too far apart, it's not teasing the grass. You really good get it down low, and just tease it over. It just gradually as the glue is dry, you just tease it over a couple of times.
Yeah, my new trick I found out is, usually you'll attach some nail in the scenery, and then put the clip on there. So I've learned I'll just use a screwdriver, like clip onto the nail, and I'll hold the nail underneath the cup and move around, so I don't have to stick it in one point of scenery. So I can keep going because the static charge will follow me as I do a larger section of scenery. If you got a couple square feet to it, I can apply the glue. But as long as I move that, or even just the alligator clip, I'm getting a static charge.
Yeah.
And that was I looked at somebody was doing that. I'm like, I think it was one of the military modelers. I learned everything from those guys. I thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah.
But I liked your other, the other layout showed that off. I've seen that by the tunnel and stuff. I've seen where you use different colors and different heights, and it just looks so much better.
Yeah, it depends on where you move. I did do a little bit on my road because the train freak was asking about how we do the roads. And the road, how mine turned out, is how I've been in road construction on and off during my working career, cutting materials and whatnot, and used to jump in a roller and grader and whatnot. and the bush. So I basically follow the same principle as my dirt roads that we build. And I use a fine clay dirt. And the trick is you've got to try to find the tanny colour one light, but usually if you're modelling a certain area, you can get, I don't worry about buying it. I go to my local area, scrape up a coffee tin or whatnot of the material, dry it, grind it, crush it and whatnot, and use that. You're not going to get your colour from what you call it, from the hobby supply. They have your right texture or your colours that you want. The road bit that I did now is basically dirt road. It's hard wear and it's hard use. But what I tend to do is to make it a real muddy road or track, what I do is I go and get, we got matchbox cars and hot rods and whatnot, the Hot Wheel cars. And what I do is just before they dry, before the glue sets, I'll run it over a couple of times, and it leaves that indentation of the road, and it gives you that dirt road, gravel road effect. You do get your gravel. Here we use a lot of blue metal dust. Over there they do too, or they use rock over there. You got like your final coat, but it's all been crushed up. We've got cement blended into it, and over time with the rain, all that stuff starts falling down the bottom, but you still get the dirt coming up over the top. So it's really hard. If you get your colours from your local area, that works. Everybody's using basically the same type of, we call it compatible material. You've got your topsoil, you've got subsoil, and it usually comes up underneath that. Hi, David.
Hello, David. One of the things we've found, my little group for like dirt roads, because I don't want anything shiny, but so we've gone to athletic fields and like American baseball fields and some other.
Yeah.
They always have this kind of a clay dirt that they use on the field, and sometimes at the amateur fields of high schools they'll have a pile of it off to the side, and if we take that and sift it makes really nice scale dirt roads. I've used that because I just don't want anything shiny in it. You don't want any quartz or anything like that. You want it to look like dirty, dusty roads that the local highway department or somebody's used. So yeah, that's a good tip. So,
well, you see, that's what you can do. That's what I do. And I'm now that I haven't been working. I haven't been on the right construction site, so I've got to go around hunting for it, basically. But that's the most common material, and you just get it from. They're not going to lose any sleep for a coffee tin or whatnot.
No.
Like, it's funny because my general work is doing the hot mix, the bitumen, the tar bit. We do the we call it hot mix over here anyway. It's all already mixed up with sand, gravel, and whatnot. And if I ever need any gravel or sand, because they've got two different types of sand there, you see. They've got the slag sand that comes from the local steelworks, which I won't use it all out because it's very, you get splinters from it very easily. And it corrodes wires and copper. But then we got beach sand that comes from a quarry up on the other side of the city, and it just comes into a nice shade of yellow and sand I want. So I just get a couple of coffee tins and I go, I just want a bit of dust, gravel dust, or a bit of sand.
Yeah.
Bring it home and dry it up and sift it, and that sand is good because it does crush up a bit. And yeah, that's what I use. I save a lot of money on gravel and ground material when I want to do my scenery.
That would make a good video. Just the process, each step, and you can and combine it into about an 8 or 9 minute video. Here's how I do, because everyone does it different, and it's always interesting to learn different techniques on how to make the perfect dirt road for you. So
Well, there is. I did show a little bit on the stream on the one of the videos I've just done making dirt roads. On the end of it, how I actually crush the clay, and this clay that I use is from just up the road from here, from a subdivision where they haven't finished. Well, it's sort of finished, but we have these forward drives been going out and exposed the clay that I wanted, and I just gone in there and go, well, that's not the right colour, that's the right colour. It's like, okay, this is what I use on the road. Scraped it up, put it in, and I also saw some gravel dust there because I can't go to the workplace, and they were sort of like, well, what are you doing? You can do this, you can come back to work, which I can't because I went to be off. But I saw a very nice, it was a different coloured gravel. It wasn't from here. It must have come from one of the quarries in Sydney. So I'll pick that up and I'll end up sipping. But I will show you guys how I do it. But that buddy of mine, that neighbour of mine, Creaky, hasn't made things easy for me.
what's he causing you trouble now? What's he doing?
Oh, mate, he hasn't stopped causing me trouble for the last 2 months. It's nearly 2 months. Man, we've got to put this we've got to put this big, huge wall between me and him. Because it keeps sending all this rain out to me. The Australian sun's really got a big bite to it, so I put my dirt and clay outside to dry. This side is sending me all this rain over. It's all right.
Blame Creepy.
Yeah, I can blame Creepy. Hey?
It should be what, spring over there? Spring in Australia now? Okay.
Yeah. Well, Ron, look, keep me on my feet, but I've got the HMAS Berkeley on standby outside in case I've got to evacuate. Oh, man, we've been getting some rain here, I'll tell you what. And I think later this afternoon, tomorrow is going to be the worst. We have been getting a lot of rain. It's good in one way. It's going to reduce the chances of bushfires because we're coming to the bushfire season, but you can't do nothing. Like I do my painting and whatnot outside, I haven't been able to do nothing. It took me nearly 2 weeks to get some clear weather just to do my black panel. A small switching panel that's about this big and about yay thick. I am not going to look at it. I've just got to look at the window or direction. I can see what's coming, Gary. But
now he's trolling you.
Oh, yeah, it's all right. I know where he lives. Yeah. And if you're not careful, I tell everybody where to throw the rocks at you. You ever watched that movie? Have you ever watched that movie, Babe?
Yeah.
Babe the Talking Pig, right?
I've seen portions of it.
Yeah. The grandstand towards the end of it, towards the end of the movie, they take a shot just around the corner from his place. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So all we're going to have to do is just stand at the grandstand. The grandstand's not that high. Just throw rocks over the top of it, over it, and we'll end up in his house. But it's beautiful countryside up there.
So we can say that'll do, Creepy. That'll do. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Sometimes it will split. Sometimes it will go straight out, or it might go up north. But lately we've been copping a fair bit of. But this, I've got a steel mill over the hill here, and it does drag a lot of rain into it. What's he saying? See if you can put. Well, I've got plenty of green here, thanks, Steve. I've got more than enough green. I mean, the football field's that swamp. It's like it's got that spongy black dirt in it, and it just soaks all the water up and becomes a water reservoir. And the county can't mow it for about a month after it rained, because every time they put the big tractor to cut the grass on it, it sinks into the mud. Yeah, we've got plenty of green here. Blue. No, that's not blue. I just got to look out the side window at the lake down there. Yeah. It's all right. I'll send him the winds back over here. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I was hoping to get the rent house done, but that's not going to happen. I want to get the pub scene done first and get the town done. So it looks finished. I'll videotape, take photographs and whatnot. That section is going to be reasonably finished. So that's what I intend to do.
So you said roundhouse. Are you putting in a turntable?
I have got the turntable in there.
What kind? Is that a Walters, or what do you put in there?
Yeah, I've got the Walters one. I've got the Walters, the big one from Walters. I put it in probably about, when was it? Easter last year, just before I had my accident, I put it in. And I quickly put the rent house together to see how it all fits. And I pretty much just left it there. And I was going to put lights and whatnot. I was going to put something. We had COVID hit us, and everything stopped. And I was trying to get the shaded lights, and the lights with the shades on, to put inside the rent house to light it up inside. And I couldn't find them to save my life. So at the end, what I've decided to do, I've got these micro LEDs, which I'm going to put inside, right? Just to give it some light, because I can't get those shades, not affordable one. So, and it takes a lot of work. I've only got 2 weeks basically finished doing off what I'm doing, and when I recover, I'm going to start rip that up. I've got to reset the turntable in the spot. I don't like the colour. I want to repaint it. It's too grey for me. I wanted to get it down to like a whitish yellow colour as a concrete, to look like close to what they have up at Cumberland and whatnot. But just to get that shade, it's been hard. But I'm going to rip that up, repaint it, reset it properly, and then the rent house goes up on top. I've got to modify the rent house too, because I've got probably about probably about a quarter of an inch overhanging on the edge. So I'm going to basically on the corner. Basically, what I'm going to do is I can take the wall out. It's falling apart. So basically, what I'm going to do is on this section here, I'm going to cut it. Then I'm going to lay it at a 45-degree angle to the side, and I've got to do the same thing with the actual floor on it, and then it will look like it's part of being like that instead of overhanging on the edge, because that's sitting towards the side of my laptop, and that's where I'm going to have my control panel on that. So I want to make it look better than what it is at the moment.
What's your favorite color paint for concrete? That's the $1 million question. What color is concrete?
And I say that the color of concrete depends on the area that you particularly want to model, if that makes sense. Mainly because the sand material and the gravel gives you the different shades of your actual concrete. I like the shade that I like the shade of concrete that Woodland Scenic come out with, but I found a nicer colour, which is close to what we have when it ages, and it's a Tamiya paint, and it's called Deck Tag.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what I use. If you have a look, sorry, I'm going to use a laptop. If you have a look at my diesel facility here, I did, because I used balsa wood, it really soaked in that, soaked in Woodland Scenics colouring. And it was very close to the shade of the balsa wood. But then I ended up thinking, I want to go a bit tad darker, and I use this.
Okay.
And that's the colour effect that I've got. And it looks pretty much, it looks pretty close to the concrete that I want from back home in South Carolina and up along the CSX line. Because that's what I was trying to go for. I'm trying to go for that to shade of sand, because I basically do Seaboard and CSX, or the Chesney system. So I was just trying to blend in the colours there, because that colour concrete over there is different to the colour concrete we have here.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The concrete that I have over here is, you can basically use pearl or off-white for your concrete here. Because it's very, very, especially if you got like the newly laid concrete, it's more of a white concrete than, well, an off-white than natural tanny colour. If that makes sense.
Right. Right.
So I'll find that a good shade. Or there was a real light grey that I used on the roundhouse. I can't remember what colour it was, but it was from Tamiya. You'll see in my clips. That's a lighter shade too, but it's a different. But that's more of a shade to what we have in my area, and not to what's over in the US, like what I have in the houses and whatnot. So that's why I went for this, because this is the closest match I could actually find. I actually bought this colour in the US because I matched it onto the ground there, you see, in that region, especially with my house. But it's close. But the roundhouse, I was trying to imitate the CSX's Cumberland Yard. Let's see, Woodland Scenics. They made as new concrete cut. Oh, have they? Yeah, well, I have weathered the concrete down. And if you have a look in the, it's hard to see here. I can't zoom in with this, but in my let me see if I can get it on the big screen. Yeah. I've got a bit of brightness, but in between the tracks here and on the side, I've darkened it. It's hard to see it. Yeah, I've got too much light. But I've darkened it up in the side here with just a little bit of they did what do you call it? What was I going to say? What's the train talk? I just use what those sponges they use on the makeup to dull it down. I'll have to have a look at it. Steve, the way I done my last asphalt on the new section, I actually used, what I do is I always paint the base colour of my roads. Like my dirt road, I used yellow ochre. You can buy it anywhere. any arts and crafts shops. Let me type. Just acrylic paint. This one's for my dirt roads. For my dirt roads, I use this one. The yellow ochre. And I put that down the bottom. It doesn't matter if the brush is a little bit dirty, you get that different coloured shades in it. I usually wash it, paint this on with, clean the brush out on a dirty black, what you call it, water for cleaning your brushes. And after I've done, I'll do the same thing as what I don't know. Did you see Jason's video on how he does his backdrop and how he done his scenery, like putting the ground foliage and whatnot while the paint's dry, wet, sorry. I do the same. And later on, I'll go back and just, with the dirt road, I'll roll it down. The black asphalt, I use what we call a spray seal, which is basically got the tar on the road and you've got the rocks that's a pre-coat with tar in it. I sprinkle that over the top of it. And a nice colour that brings it up is Woodland Scenics ballast, which is a cinder, and it's a very fine one. And I use this sifter to just gently put over the top, and it gives you that rocky road finish, not the hot mix finish. It just gives you that rocky road finish. I'll let that dry. I rolled it, and then I sprayed it down again with white glue. I use PVA mixed with detergent and a bit of isopropyl alcohol. Right, spray it down and let it dry. And let it dry for 24, 36 hours. If the dirt road needs a bit more, I'll just roll it down a little bit more and just do the right scatter. And I got my road finish. You can see it on the bit where I done the road, how it came out. I was going to use sandpaper, but I couldn't get anything to seal the sandpaper off. Because you can imagine, you have that on the road, you're putting your vehicles on, it just sends away the wheels. But we were in lockdown. We were in all our hobby shops, because they weren't classed as essential. They're all closed within 2 or 3 months, and they haven't had time to wait for it, so I just use that. It came up all right. I'm actually quite happy the way it's turned out.
And that's what counts. You know, how do you like it? How does it look on your layout with your lighting? You know, that's
with my current. Now let me switch the camera. You can actually see how it's turned out. Sorry, I haven't got heat system here.
No one has heat system.
No, I don't have that many cameras. I'm not that rich. You can see how the dirt road is actually, even from a distance. I mean, I haven't got much light here. Let me get this. This is my average light. And this is I'll get this bus out of the way. I don't know if you can see, but this is basically the finish that I've got. And from the distance, it looks good. Actually, might need another spray. I might need another spray of glue by the looks and feel of it. I'll move the camera closer, so sorry people, it's going to be shaky camera. In this light, that's about as close as you can get. You can see the look on it, how it looks in this light. It's not too bad, and it's not glossy. I didn't want a glossy finish. It's close to a matte to a satin. Actually, you can probably see it. Okay, there's a bit of grass on it. I've done the same thing here. So if I put a bit of light on it, I use my desk lamp for extra lighting. It still hasn't come up too bad.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, that's good. And you can see the different colors.
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah, I like
glossy.
that. Yeah, no, you don't want there's nothing clot, you know.
Yeah, and then you'll see the dirt track on the side here where I've got a bit more light. I've got the two different tones of the dirt. Yes, I have got a little bit of dirt on the asphalt, but trucks and cars always pick up the dirt and take it up into that section. So I'm not too worried about it being a little bit dirty, but it's come up pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm a lot happier with it than it came out better than what I expected. Yeah, it came up better than what I expected. Yeah.
Which is always a pleasant surprise.
Beg your pardon?
It's always a pleasant surprise when it comes out better than what you expected. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think there is a competition going on between Heath and Anthony won't admit to it, to who can have the most cameras. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
I'm impressed with Anthony's system. It's just that's what I'd like to have. Run my layout and have like cameras put in different places. I'm trying to pick up little cheap iPhones and use for cameras. I think that'll work.
Yeah, well, I got my phone here, the Samsung. That's what I'm doing all my videoing and whatnot on. I don't have a fancy camera. The camera I was using, you see on my corner there. Try to get my finger on it. Sorry, I'm not used to this. You see the little camera up in the background there, where the black post is. Yeah. No, finger. There. There's my camera up in the corner. And that's how I can get my view to that's how I can get the view down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that camera that's up on me near my left shoulder or left arm, you can only just see it's a webcam that I picked up for $50 at Office Works, which is like your Staples over in the US. And yeah, it's worked out all right. I've got a couple of Cube speakers I want to put in at a later date. And yeah, it'll work out. It's all time and money and time.
And knowledge. You know, trying to learn from Heath and everyone else how to do the technical side of this rather than just the modeling side. I think I got the modeling side down. I just don't have the technical skills to put on a 10 camera show.
Yeah, well, I looked at some of it and whatnot and a lot of the streams. Like, I'm not criticizing anybody. Everybody's got their own ability and everything else. I mean, it's great. But a lot of things that's been lacking and whatnot is back to basics. And when you're working on one particular product in particularly and you want to work your way around it, people are finding other alternatives and that makes it more complex. I'm going back to basics basically and start from there, and then Yeah, I might be using that later on down the track. I don't have time to be installing and programming. I'm very time poor at the moment, if that makes sense. Even though I'm at home, I'm still time poor. I want to get something done because I know it's going to come to a standstill for 3 months. But I want to operate trains in that 3 months, even though I can't be constructing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. So what's that saying? Yeah, but the Japanese take pictures of everything. Well, they do. They do, but let me just see what my comments are here. Yeah, you'd have more key cameras than Heath, Anthony, so you won that one. But your cameras work out a little bit better, and I want to say it. I mean, Anthony, your cameras depict your layout. Each one basically works within his small room, and he does other things. I mean, good on you. I mean, it's good to learn what the difference is between the different cameras. And yeah, I like the passenger view too. I've got another flat car that I'm making at the same size as this, which is only a 20-footer, and I want to mount lightning and thunder. Thanks, Gary. Really wanted that. I'm gonna have this. I've got another one of these kits to do, but I'm gonna have the cube speaker on the front that push around and take videotaping of the train in operation, and put a little bit of weight on it. So yeah, I just broke this thanks to Rick. I'll fix that up.
Yeah, I like the camera view Sparky did one time. He put the camera at the back, like towards the back of the train. I kind of called it the hobo view, but that was a lot better. The ones I see on here on YouTube where the camera is supposedly in front of the engine, they always run it too fast, and it's almost nauseating sometimes. That's why I like Anthony's where it looked like you're looking out the window, or Sparky's on the back of the train. I think if I put a camera on the train, I'd put it out the caboose window, like you were the conductor looking out over the front of your train as it went from place to place.
Yeah, that's what I tend to do later on down the track. Yeah, that's what I tend to do with some of my stuff down the track, but I want to get the layout done first. I used to actually talking about looking at the back. I don't know, Ron, I'm not too sure. I think Ron's further down south in Victoria. But creepy, Gary would probably know we call them the red rattlers, the old passenger cars we used to have here. Now, in the US, they have the brake van or the parcel van or the conductor's van or whatnot, usually up the front of the train. We actually got the guard, we call him the guard or the conductor. The conductor is actually up the back of the train. So you used to have the brake van, the caboose. On the passenger train, it will be the baggage car, which is also acted as the brake van. Excuse me for a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Now, on my line here on the South Coast line, I live on a line that's just on the coast south of Sydney. And from my hometown becomes a branch line. If you go the other way, it goes up to Creepy's place. It's just second steepest grade. Anyway, in the mornings, I used to sometimes I used to catch the train and go to Sydney instead of going to school. I needed to catch up onto my homework. And a lot of times they never get in a port, or just the way the consist of the passenger train ended up. They did not have the guards van on the back or parcel van or whatnot. It's just empty. So you end up getting, imagine, like you got the back window. We had compartments inside of it. Like you had individual compartments, and then you got your toilet, and then your window to go to your to look at where you've been. So the thing I used to love doing, because I think they would have done it in the US. I know they're still doing it in the United States. Remember in England. But remember when you used to flush the toilet, all the effluent and toilet paper used to go down the rails. Well, with our trains, especially particular ones, used to have a pipe that used to go right down onto the track. And I was one of those naughty boys that got the toilet paper, put it down the toilet. Of course, it's going straight out. I flushed the button, the water's going continuous. You just see the stream of toilet paper coming out right behind. Well, it gave it a good effect. It looked good with toilet paper just fluttering in the air in the background. The downside was, for about 2-3 years after that, I started working with machines and excavation. We were doing electrification. I had to go and clean up my mess. But it was funny. You just see this toilet paper, just streams of toilet paper coming out from the back of the train. We can't do that anymore.
You ruined it for everybody. See, here you are.
Well, I didn't go painting walls. I didn't go doing damage to anything. I mean, that was just harmless fun at the time, if that makes sense. It wasn't destructive. It was messy, but it wasn't destructive. So anyway, I am hearing a lot of thunder and lightning at the moment, which I believe that my mate Gary Creepy might be sending it over to me. So I'm going to cut this stream now. Thank you for joining me, Thomas.
You're welcome. Thanks for the invite.
You're welcome. I'll work at my time schedule next week because you guys are going back an hour by morning. So I've got to work at the schedule between my time and your time. And now that I've seen that Ray Bobel and the SDS crew are doing streaming with that build challenge now as well at Saturday, I'm going to talk with them and I'm going to try to integrate that my live stream starts at the end of them. So, Hillbilly, yeah, thank you for joining. So it's going to be a regular thing. Yeah, it's going to be a regular thing when the daylight. Yeah. Yeah. So
well, I hope I can jump on more.
Yeah, more than welcome to. More than welcome to. Hopefully I'll start my pub by then and have some buildings coming up by then. And yeah, thank you for joining Ron, Anthony, Creepy. I think he might have fallen asleep or he's caught the rapids coming down to my place to help me build my layout. Yes, I have, yes.
He's rolling in his poetry.
Yeah, well, the stream that goes from his place empties out in the lake, which is just over the other side of the fence here. So I can actually scoop them out with the fish net. So, yeah. So, anyway, thanks for joining, Thomas.
Yep.
See you guys during the week. And everybody else, thank you for joining the show and listen to the Aussie chit chat. Yep, that's it. On the radio. Yep. All right, Creepy. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Take care and stay safe. Bye.